If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.
Hosted by Zay Bonez, the MMA Brotherz.
Hey, that headshot bang.
Oh yeah,
Every time.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing chilling. I'm excited to go over this fight card for the weekend.
Yes, me too. Me too. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Zay
Bones,
and we are the MMA Brotherz, and we are here to break down this card. UFC 303. It is International Fight Week. A lot going on this week. If you're in Vegas, they got the fan experience, all the meet and greets. Had the press conference yesterday. Ceremonial weigh-ins should be coming on right about now. Also did the Hall of Fame ceremony last night.
before we move on, this was supposed to be the Connor McGregor card, but it's Jay. But we thinking that he got injured. I'm not sure if it's officially confirmed or not, but I'm pretty sure he got injured.
Yeah, he broke his toe.
Broke his toe?
He broke his pinky toe, honestly, like for real.
So the card is being headlined by Waterson and Yuri Procházka, which is two of my favorite light heavyweights in the division. So, I mean, although, they're talking about he got scared. Come on.
Hey, although it is. Go ahead.
Although a little shine, has been taken away from it, I'm still very excited because they added another card. Another fight in the co-main event. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Waterson, he broke his toe and he still fought for his championship. So
that's what I was just gonna say. First of all, shout out to the UFC because it's like how many times, especially during International Fight Week, but like a lot of cards, like last year, John Jones and Stipe, they'll lose a big name off of a card, and they'll scramble within 2 weeks to put something together. And usually, what they put together is even better than what they started off with. Yeah, it might lose some name value, but I mean, matchup wise, it's like they definitely hit a home run. You had the co-main event, which was supposed to start off as
Jamal Hill, Carlos
Roundtree versus Jamal Hill. Khalil Roundtree had to pull out. After Roundtree pulled out, it was Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg. Jamal Hill pulled out, so then it was Carlos Ulberg versus Anthony Smith. Then Carlos Ulberg pulled out, and now it's Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze, who is a middleweight moving up to light heavyweight. And then in the main event, Connor pulled out, broke his toe, his pinky toe. So they called on Poatan Alex Pereira, who they also called on to save 300 when that fight fell out. He took that fight with a broken toe. He came in, he got the W, and now he's coming back into this fight with a broken toe on 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when Poatan and Yuri fought the last time, it was supposed to be John Jones and Stipe.
Right. But I do want to acknowledge everybody that was put in the Hall of Fame last night. I feel like this 2024 class, everybody was well-deserved. I actually watched most of these careers.
All right, starting off, we got the axe murderer, Wanderlei Silva. He was a former Pride middleweight champion, 2003 Pride middleweight Grand Prix champ, and he has 19 knockouts, which is the most in UFC, WEC, Pride, and Strikeforce history. He is a legend to the fullest effect.
100%. The axe murderer definitely fits his name, fits his style because he was extremely violent. I think at one point in Pride, he rattled off like 21 wins in a row, knocking out Sakuraba twice, knocked out Rampage. Jay said that's his guy.
Hey, listen. Can we just talk about that Rampage one for a second? I watched that clip the other day. It was legit 30 seconds. 30 seconds in fight time where they had him in the clinch. And he was just kneeing the hell out of him. That was nasty. And I believe up until that point, unless Shogun did it before, I think that was afterwards, but nobody did Rampage like that. It was the first person to knock him out, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. Then he came.
First person I've seen knock him out.
Came to the UFC and knocked out Chuck Liddell, and then he had a classic epic fight with Brian Stan. If you ever want to see just nonstop violence from start to finish, he ended up winning by knockout. But watch Brian Stan versus Wanderlei Silva. Him
and Chuck Liddell went to a decision. It was a classic war though.
Nah, he knocked out Chuck.
I know Rampage knocked him out.
Unless they fought twice.
All right. So, any more you got for the axe murderer?
No, we could go ahead and move on to the next.
Yeah. So we got Frankie Edgar. He's a UFC lightweight champ from 2010 to 2012. He had a 8-fight of the night bonuses, which is the second most in UFC history. And he has damn near 8 hours of total fight time, which is the second most in UFC history.
Dean said we're both wrong about the Wanderlei Chuck Liddell. I don't know, but I'm willing to put a little wager on it.
Me too. I'm pretty sure they fought in the UFC, but it didn't go to. It wasn't a knockout. I think it went to a decision.
So Frankie Edgar, known for the king of rematches. His trilogy with Gray Maynard was legendary. His the BJ Penn fights, he was the one to knock BJ Penn off the throne. That was like something that nobody thought would ever happen. So shout out to Frankie Edgar. He had a lot of title shots. At one point, he was pretty annoying because he just wouldn't go away. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Definitely a legend and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, admittedly, he one of those fighters that I didn't appreciate him until it was too late. You know, because I get really emotional when it comes to MMA fighters, and he knocked out BJ Penn. At the time, BJ Penn was my favorite fighter, so I just kind of, didn't root for Frankie Edgar pretty much a lot. His fight with Gray Maynard, that's a classic. That's a fight that I would show people when they came over. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, UFC wasn't as popular as it is today. It wasn't as many households, but I got much respect for Frankie Edgar to go. I got nothing bad to say about him.
Dean said, if I believe correct, Wanderlei lost that fight, and that was Chuck Liddell's last great fight. It went to a decision. Chuck Liddell won. All right, who we got next?
Now this guy knocked out Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, I probably got mixed up. He had him land on his side, right?
Yep, that was it.
Okay, that's what I got mixed up.
All right, this one, Mauricio Shogun Rua. He's a former UFC light heavyweight champ from 2010 and 2011, 2005 Pride middleweight Grand Prix champ, and 8 post-fight bonuses, which is the second most in UFC light heavyweight history. He was another guy that did Rampage in Pride, which is very rare to see. He also holds a special place in my heart because he got robbed at I believe it was UFC 102, I believe it was, when he fought Machado, and he came back and knocked him out and had him stiff. And at the time, nobody was beating Machado. He was a karate kid, and once again,
was undefeated at that time.
Once again, I didn't like Machado because he defeated Rashad Evans. So,
hey, I remember when we was at. I remember that exact moment when we was at Bruising Room, me, you, and Chris, and the way we reacted to that knockout. Oh man,
yeah,
people were jumping on tables and everything.
Yeah, me and Chris ran out of the building and came back.
Hey, the only other MMA moment that stands out to me in history like that when we was out was when McGregor knocked out Aldo.
Yeah.
But he eventually lost his belt to John Jones, and that started the John Jones era.
Yeah. He was another one just like Evangelate. He was the king of Muay Thai and the clinch, and he had some devastating knees. Also, that war he had with Dan Hendo as a classic too.
Classic. We actually did an episode on that.
Hey, there
one
you
of
go.
our earlier episodes, if y'all want to go back and listen to it.
All right,
We can do more often, just single out fights and do episodes like that.
Last but definitely not least, you got Joanna champion Jedrzejczyk. She's part of the Modern Wing. She's a former UFC strawweight champ. She was the second one to hold the belt from 2015 and 2017. First female European UFC champ. First Polish UFC champ. And she has 8 title wins, most in UFC strawweight history.
She put the division on the map.
Yes.
Her fight with Zhang Weili was a classic, probably one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Best female fight ever.
No, best female fight ever, but probably one of the best fights. Like, there's so many fights, you can't really say one is the best, but
I could definitely say that's the best female fight I've ever seen.
Absolutely,
without a shadow of a doubt.
It's a couple of fights that stand out in your head that if you're trying to introduce somebody to the UFC and you want to show them like when 2 people perform at their best, this is what's possible. That's one of the fights you'll put on.
Although Ronda Rousey pioneered the women's MMA, I would say that she had the second hand in it because at the time, Carla Esparza, who was straight up boring and nobody really would care for, was a champ.
Somebody cared for her, though. Goddamn.
No, nobody's a huge Carla Esparza. But anyway, she smashed her up bad, man. That combo up against the cage. And at the time in her heyday, she was thought to have the best boxing in the UFC, period, male or female.
And also what she did to Jessica Penne.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal too. But yeah, man, the way she carried that belt and she held it down and she was a good champ, man, she definitely put the strawweight division, the women's MMA on the map too.
She had classic rivalries with Rose Namajunas, and she had a classic rivalry with Claudia Gadelha, which I feel like Claudia Gadelha would have been a champ if she wasn't in the era of Joanna. So shout out to the pretty women.
She's the reason I don't like Rose Namajunas. She's the exact reason why. You got anything else for Joanna champion, bro?
Nah, that's it. A legend. I met her, got a picture with her, got the autograph on the shirt. Seemed like she was pretty receptive to fans and whatnot.
And talk about your boy Beneil Dariush.
All right, yeah. So basically, they do a Forrest Griffin Community Service Award, and they gave that to Beneil Dariush, and it's well deserved. I feel like a lot of times the things that athletes do with their platform is more important than actually their performance in whatever sport they participate in. And Beneil Dariush is definitely one of those who pays it forward. With his very first fight bonus ever, he went to Haiti and kind of like did missionary work out there. He goes to Asia, Haiti, different places, and just pretty much help build rec centers and try to get kids off the street. So usually when he get bonuses, that's what he do with them. He got started his own little gym in his city, and it's free of charge to kids and teenagers up to like 21, just to get them off the streets. And you know what I'm saying, that's real commendable. It's always good to see people use their platform to give back. You get what I'm saying? So
especially when it's fighters too, because a lot of times people who don't know the fight game, they consider fighters to be barbarians and just wild man or whatever. So it's good to see him, you know, do stuff like that just to show people that he's not just a meathead or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or a barbarian.
Not just that, but also, you know, a lot of the times when these fighters fight in the UFC, the way the pay is set up, it's like you get show money, you get win money, and then you could get a bonus. So if you show up and you lose and you don't get no bonus, you're getting half of your paycheck. So it's like for somebody who, and they're not making the money that boxers make. So for somebody who isn't like the richest man compared to most athletes, and to do so much, you got to respect it. It's, you know, it's coming from the heart.
Oh, I forgot about one thing. As far as the fight wing, Charles Sonnen and Anderson Silva, they made it in the fight wing. That was an absolute classic UFC 117. That was August 7, 2010 for the UFC middleweight championship. That was a fight where Charles Sonnen was beating him for all 5 rounds, and Silva submitted him in like the last minute of the fight in the 5th round. So that was definitely a classic.
And deserves to be in the Fight Wing Hall of Fame too. So yeah, I just wanted to give respect to all of the legends that went in the Hall of Fame off top before we get into the fight card.
All right, I'm ready to break down this
fight card, by the way.
All right, let me bring it from the top, bro.
Yeah. It's a really, really, really good card, man. I'm real excited about it. I don't see no way this don't live up to expectations. It may even exceed it. Starting off, just to kick things off, in the bantamweight division, we have Ricky Simone versus Vinicius Oliveira. How you think that fight gonna play out, bro?
Ricky Simone, I would probably say, I don't know if I would say he's the more well-rounded fighter, but I would say he's the more, maybe I would say more technical fighter, but I feel like Vinicius Oliveira, he got that splash, and he is a contender for a knockout of the year. What he did to Sopaj, that knee, it was just absolutely devastating. So I'm gonna look for him to keep the momentum going, and I'm picking Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simone, tough. I don't know if he's gonna finish him, but I like for him to get that decision too.
I would go with Ricky Simone in this one. Ricky Simone, he's definitely gonna use his wrestling. He's one of those wrestlers that don't. You know, a lot of people got wrestling in their back pocket, but they keep the fight standing. He gonna use his. He's relentless, never gets tired. He is coming off a 2-fight lose streak, and sometimes when these fighters start trending in the wrong direction, it seems like it'd be hard for them to bounce back. Vinicius Oliveira, he's not as experienced as Ricky Simone, but he is very explosive. He could end the fight at any second of the fight, regardless of how it's looking on the scorecards. So this is a dangerous fight. I'm going with Ricky Simone. I feel like he should win this fight, but I wouldn't put money on it because it's one of those 50-50. It don't even show the odds, do it?
This one don't have the odds for the first 2 fights for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know, but so yeah, I'm looking for Ricky Simone. Who is the biggest underdog on the card? Y'all know I'm looking for a come up. The biggest underdog on this card is Peyton Talbot is fighting.
Yeah, I just finna say that. Yeah, we're finna get to it soon.
Next up, in the flyweight division, we have Reese Syria versus Carlos Hernandez.
I'm picking Syria just because Shinsuke Nakamura coming out with him, and I'm just being biased, so I'm going with Syria in this one. It's not often that you see. You're
going with Syria, what?
I'm going to read to Syria in this one because he got Shinsuke Nakamura coming out with him. And I just checked on the app on my phone. They got Ricky Simone as a -240 favorite.
Yeah, I can see that. that make it even more likely that you shouldn't bet on him because it's not really going to pay out that well.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on Vinicius, but
If you're going to bet on that, you bet props like over under on rounds or something like that.
In this fight, to Syria, he's a minus 475 favorite.
Yeah, I think he won the road to the UFC. Carlos Hernandez is pretty well rounded. Cirulia is gonna try to probably grapple with him, but Carlos Hernandez is pretty tough. I'm not too familiar with Ree, so I'm gonna just go Carlos Hernandez just because you didn't.
All right.
Next up, in the heavyweight division, we have the pit bull, Andre Arlovski, still going strong, 20 years plus in the game, former UFC heavyweight champ, versus Martin Boudet. Boudet is a very heavy-handed, well, everybody in the heavyweight division is heavy-handed. I have been hearing rumors that Arlovski will retire after this fight. Martin Boudet, his last fight was versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He got his eye closed up. I feel like Martin Boudet is going to be able to get the knockout. Arlovski, I don't know, he lost his chin and then he found it. But he is kind of susceptible to the knockout. He's a little slower, but speed don't really mean too much in the heavyweight division. But I just feel like his skills are on the decline. But for those of you that don't know, and you might just see this guy get knocked out, don't get it twisted. This guy was unstoppable at one point in his UFC career. Probably about he was heavyweight champ for a good minute. He was knocking people out, even though he's a sambo wrestler. Martin Boudet, he's just really bulky and really powerful. Andre Arlovski should still have the speed advantage in this fight, not by much. I knew Jay was gonna say something about Pitbull. I know you're a big fan. Can't blame you. But speaking of the Hall of Fame, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I just think it's crazy how long he lasted in the sport and how he kind of pretty much revamped himself and came out like a whole different fighter. Like, there's so many stages to his career. It's crazy, very impressive. But I like Boudet for the knockout.
Man, when I first started seeing Arlovski, that's when he was a champ and he had the long hair with the fang mouthpiece. And he was the first person I seen wear a fang mouthpiece. Not saying he's the first one that did it, but he's the first person I seen.
He definitely put it on the map.
Yeah. Dean said it should be Andre Arlovski's last fight. Yeah, I think it should be too. It's weird because, like you said, he went through a period where he was champ, he was pretty dominant, and then he started going on like a little losing streak. I remember when he knocked out Paul Bonatello in like 13 seconds to defend his belt, and the fans were very upset because it was a quick knockout. But then I remember when he started fighting for Affliction, he was getting put out by Fedor. Not that that's a bad thing because Fedor put out a lot of people, but he was getting knocked out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then he found his chin again, like you said. And then he came back to the UFC. The fight he had with Travis Brown was pretty classic. He knocked out.
He knocked out recently.
Huh?
I actually just watched that recently.
Yeah. Also, he knocked out Bigfoot. He had some pretty impressive, wins or whatever. But Andre Arlovski is the kind of fighter, whenever you count him out, that's when he surprises you with a decision win or something like that, or a knockout. I'm going to pick him to win by decision here. Boudet should win, and Boudet is a younger and younger fighter. And I would say he has more tools to win, but I got Pitbull in this one.
You know, Dean said Arlovski's been in it since what? Prague? Absolutely. And he said he did kickboxing like Pereira and Adesanya. I will say this. Once I saw Arlovski get knocked out by the black guy, best thing smoking.
No, it's not Rozenstruik.
No. I can't think of his name right now, but he's not really. Who did
Oh, I need to. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Once he got knocked out by him, I felt like that should have been his last fight.
The guy who was a boring wrestler, Carl Williams or something, right?
No. The guy who got submitted by Cyril Gane.
Oh.
And I wish I could reach out to Janet because I know she knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, we gonna find out though. But you got Budai in this one, right?
Yeah, I definitely got Buddha.
All right.
Okay, I just asked her and she called it right out. Don't tell Maze.
Okay. Yeah.
That's so sexy to me.
It is.
Next up, women's strawweight bout. Somebody else who should be retiring, in my honest opinion. You got Michelle Waterson Gomez, aka the Karate Hottie, versus Jillian Robertson. Jillian Robertson is coming off a 2 or 3 fight win streak. She has the most submissions in women's strawweight division. Trained by the legendary Dean Thomas. Michelle Waterson, she's been on a decline. I really feel like she came to the UFC, and honestly, even though it's 125, I feel like all of these females are just too big for her. She was a beast at 105 in atom weight, but they don't have that division in the UFC, and I really can't blame them. I feel like if you 105, then like, what are you doing? But yeah, this should be a pretty interesting fight. Honestly, I feel like this could be this fight could play out a couple of ways. One, Michelle Water, like Jillian Robertson, because even though she's a submission artist, jiu-jitsu is sick. She actually submitted Rose Namajunas in the jiu-jitsu tournament, but she doesn't have great wrestling. Therefore, her takedowns aren't as useful as they should be. I feel like if she could master taking people down and then get some really good striking, just like the basics, I feel like she'll be a lot better off. So if this fight manages to hit the ground, Michelle Waterson is in trouble. She probably going to get submitted. But I can see Jillian Robertson also not being able to get the takedown and Michelle Waterson kind of piecing her up on the feet a little bit. Or I can see Jillian Robertson holding her up against the cage and kind of grinding out a decision win. If this fight gets finished, it's definitely going to be because Jillian got the sub. The main thing that I'm looking for to see in this fight is Jillian Robertson. I'm sorry. Is Michelle Waterson gonna? I just lost my train of thought. Is Michelle Waterson gonna retire? That's not what I was gonna say, but it'll come back to me.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm picking Jillian Robertson in this fight. She need to go ahead and just retire Michelle Waterson Gomez. I respect her. I'm not. I am a fan of her, but like you said, you hit a nail right on the head. This division, even though it's strawweight and it's 115, is still too big for her. And Invicta, she was fighting at atomweight, which is 105, I believe, right, bro? You said?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's her division. So these females are just too big for her, and she's been getting beat down, man. You know what I'm saying?
And she's been getting beat down more so lately, but she has been very competitive against really high competition. Like her fight with Paige Van Zandt. I wouldn't say Paige Van Zandt had. All right, look at Joanna Jedrzejczyk. She took her to a competitive decision. She lost, rightfully so, but she was definitely in that fight till the end. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was.
Her last fight, she took a fuck ton of damage though, man, and she was literally like crying. You get what I'm saying? Like I've never seen that.
Yeah, hey, I was damn, bro. You taking my points, man. I was building up to it. But September 23rd, 2003, UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamori.
Hey, you amazing with these days, man.
Marina Rodriguez beat the living hell out of this girl to the point where after the fight, she was crying. She was in tears. And, that's hard to watch, you know what I'm saying? Because I do like her and respect her. But, yeah, man, I just think that her time has come, man. Jillian Robertson, this would be the biggest name under her belt, and this would be the biggest one of her career if she can beat her. So I'm looking for Jillian Robertson by decision here.
I'm looking forward to get a sub.
But see, the thing is, I don't think Michelle Waterson, she's pretty good. And, she don't, I feel like she'll be good enough to where She might not get subbed. Hopefully she do get subbed, but I don't think she will get subbed though. I think she's gonna be a little competitive, but you're looking at 4 straight losses. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I know what I was gonna say. Later, like she developed a wrestling game. She got a pretty good ground game, Michelle Waterson. So what I'm interested to see is if she tries to put Jillian Robertson on her back. If she does, we don't really see her there a lot, but when she is there, she's pretty good at getting sweeps and whatnot. You get what I'm saying? But if Michelle Waterson can get her on her back and possibly just try to keep her elbows in and stay safe, then she could possibly have a chance. But I feel like her best bet is on the feet. She does have pretty fast kicks. She do this nice little 1-2 kick combo, and then she'll do where she throw like a jab and then switch and then hit you with the power kick to the head. Nice little side kicks. I feel like she uses her side kicks and her teeps more so as jabs because she got short arms and she's always at a disadvantage when it comes to the reach. But it should be a pretty interesting fight. It's a good little test for Jillian Robertson. I am a pretty big fan of her, and I feel like to rebuttal to what you said, Jillian Robertson can submit anybody.
Yeah. I'm looking at her UFC record now. Is win, loss, win, loss, win, and then 4 straight losses. She needed to win bad.
All right. So we got 15.
Hey, Trevor, this is the biggest underdog right here. Plus 900.
So next up, to start off the regular prelims, we have Peyton Talbot versus Giannis Gamori. Now, for anybody, most people don't know who Peyton Talbot is.
The truth.
Hey, this is probably his second fight in the UFC, but
third.
All right, third fight in the UFC. So they count the Contender Series.
I'm pretty sure it's the third fight. I'm looking it up right now, but I'm pretty sure it's the third fight.
All right. So, but basically, the kid is a beast, man. It's extremely creative. He is a version of my Jack Della Maddalena. I've been trying to put people on notice. I don't know. As the MMA community, we have fun. We enjoy seeing someone, a talent, really early before he gets popular, and then telling everybody, "Hey, I said it. You heard it here first. Watch out for this kid. He's the future." That's how I feel about Peyton Talbot. His creativity in the octagon is something like every fight I've seen him in, he threw something that I never seen before. And so, and I've been watching a lot of MMA. So yeah, you gotta really watch out for this kid. I feel like the odds are kind of inflated, but at the same time, I don't see Peyton Talbot losing this fight. So I mean, are they really? I mean, I feel like in any fight, the odds shouldn't be that drastic because it's a fight. It's a fist fight. Anything can happen. You get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I feel like Peyton Talbot, hands down, second round knockout in devastating fashion. And that's pretty much how this fight is going to go. So, I mean, you could put your money on Giannis, but might want to just put $1 because whatever you put in, you're losing it.
Hey, listen, I get on the UFC for a lot of the hypocrisy and politicking and stuff with certain things. Heavyweight division, cough, cough. But anyway, listen, this is UFC 303 fight week. McGregor is supposed to be on this card. They know when McGregor fights, all eyes tune in. They put this kid on this card for a reason, and they put Giannis in here to get destroyed as a victim, basically. This is supposed to be a showcase of Peyton Talbot. The last guy he fought, Sobaj, was better than this guy, and he absolutely destroyed him. No, it wasn't Sobaj. It was Simon, the kid from South Africa.
Cody Simon, yeah. Who was the next hot prospect. They normally put Cameron Simon. And they normally put 2 hot prospects in with each other, but they did. And one of them got destroyed.
All Ricardo Almeida and Cody Garbrandt. But anyway,
Trevor, they put something on it.
Yes, that's gonna be a tough one, man. That's a tough one. But
you might as well just give it to me, cuz.
But Peyton Talbot, man, he is the truth, and I feel like he's a future title contender. I don't want to go champion because I got to see more from him. This is only his third fight in the UFC, but he's a future title contender, though, I would say. I'm looking for him to get I would say a first or second round knockout. If I had to call one, I would say second round because usually it's not that it's not his power. It's like what my brother was saying, his versatility and just the way he mixed things up that put people out, you know. And the last fight, he got kicked in the nuts pretty hard, and he just laughed and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna get you." And like within seconds, he just put Buddy out. And it's like just his calm demeanor. I love it, and I feel like he's gonna do his thing.
Hey, and to your point, how you said they put this kid in here to get destroyed. They got a UFC France coming up. If that wasn't the case, they would have saved him for that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much how it's going down. And I love the way you were realistic and you didn't get carried away by saying I'm not gonna say future champ because you got to see more of them because I agree with you 100% on that. And last but not least, hey, Bones has a special talent where if it's a sport that he's really into, you can just call out a fight, and then he'll tell you, oh, it was this date in this arena, and it was UFC 118, or oh, it was this date, this arena, SummerSlam 1997. I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
Hey, bro. Oh, wait, you said UFC France. Is that supposed to be a fight night or a pay-per-view?
I think it's a fight night.
All right.
I think. I'm not sure. Next up, in the UFC featherweight division, this should be very entertaining as well. Peyton Talbot is must-see TV, but Charles Jourdain and Gene Silva both are too. Charles Air Jourdain, fighting out of Canada, he's extremely entertaining. He put a beating on who is the Gracie? Chrome Gracie.
Oh, nasty.
He destroyed Chrome Gracie. I think he had 2 L's since then, though. His last fight was really close. He throws a lot of spinning attacks, a lot of flying knees, hence the name Air Jourdain. He's going against Gene Silva. One thing about Charles Jourdain, if he gasses out, Gene Silva can put his lights out. He has a lot of power in those hands. And I mean, this should be a fun fight. It's kind of hard to call. I would like to see, as you can see, the odds are even. I would like to see Charles Jourdain win because I'm a fan, but I feel like Gene Silva could put his lights out. He's pretty much more like a brawler. Come forward, take it on the chin, take one to give one. There will probably be bloodshed in this match by Charles Jourdain, but it's just a matter of, I feel like this is one of those fights where whoever has the most heart or the most will is going to win. I do see Charles Jourdain. The thing that concerns me in this fight is he's kind of flashy, and I feel like with guys like this who are going to put the pressure on you, it's going to be kind of hard for him to get off some of those fancy techniques, and he could get clipped. I feel like he needs to just stick to the basics. He definitely has the speed advantage. I feel like he's really crisp with his strikes. I feel like if he stick to the basics and try not to be so flashy, then he definitely stands a better chance. I don't see him knocking out Gene Silva. So if he wins, it'll probably be by decision. But Gene Silva, if he wins, it'll definitely be by knockout. I will say this: some fighters, a la Johnny Walker, when you try to tame them and make them fight within the confines of the basics and the fundamentals, it takes away the thing that makes them great. So I don't know if that's Charles Jourdain, but we're going to find out tomorrow.
2 things, bro. I got to challenge you on 2 things. You can't bring up Johnny Walker without talking about that devastating knockout that he suffered from Volkan No Time Uzumir this past weekend in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season. Oh my goodness, it was so nasty.
It was nasty. It was like, if you noticed on that one, Jason Herzog was the ref, right?
Yeah.
That was Jason Herzog's first assignment since the Jared Cannonier fight. The Jared Cannonier fight, he stopped early, prematurely. So I feel like he tried to overcompensate and forgot that he was dealing with Johnny Walker. And Uzdemir hit him. He fell back on his leg, and he was out then. And then it's like Herzog didn't jump in, so he called him on one more that literally it's like he said, straighten up. And his body straightened up, and he was out.
Hey,
whenever you get knocked out, it's devastating.
Yes, but the follow-up just stiffened him, though. Like, the uppercut knocked him out, and then the follow-up stiffened him. And it was so bad, man. It was so bad.
I worry about Johnny Walker, dog.
Yeah, me too. It's a video floating around before he got into the UFC. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it to you before. He got knocked out twice in one fight. You know.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's been knocked out a lot, man. But anyway, another thing I want to challenge you on. You're saying that Gene Silva can put out Charles Jourdain. I'll challenge you on that. I don't see that happening. Charles Jourdain, he is, when it comes to KOs, TKOs, he hasn't been finished before. I don't see Gene Silva being the first one to do it. I feel like Charles Jourdain going to use his range. If anything, he going to knock him out and stiffen him up. I'm definitely picking Charles Jourdain to win this fight, though, in impressive fashion.
I hope you're right, but I hope you're wrong, just so you can be wrong.
No, he got too much versatility, too much strike, too much range, too much knees. He's gonna use his jab. He's gonna destroy Gene Silva.
We'll see. Hey, you tallied up them points?
I'm working on it. Next up, we got Carl Swanson versus Andre Touchy Philly. This is a fight between two veterans in the featherweight bout.
To the audience, I hope y'all see what just happened right now. That was his way of trying to brush me off.
Bro, why you trying to cut? Bro, why you cut me off? I'm trying to go over the fight. Saying,
I announced every fight up until I asked you that question, and then you just try to just like power past me, man. Hey, in the words of you can't just gorilla me, man.
Hey, by next show, I will have it all printed out on the night sheet. And we'll see. Right? No, like that's pay-per-view show. Right? And that's podcast. Next pay-per-view, I mean.
Backpedaling, boy. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So we got Carl Swanson versus Andre Touchy Fili. This is a fight between two veterans. I'm a huge fan of both guys. Who you got in this one, bro? Andre Fili last fight, he got put out by what's my guy name from Hawaii? Dan Ige. Dan Ige put him out. So I didn't like that one. Even though I'm an Ige fan.
Cub Swanson is a vet. He's approaching 40. 40 is up there in age for a lighter weight class. Like I always say, these guys rely on speed a lot, but he still has the power. He's still pretty tricky and slick with the way, like nobody moves like Cub Swanson, but he's been moving that way for a while. It's a lot of tape on him. At this point in their careers, I feel like Andre Fili is the better fighter as far as like skills go. But Andre Fili is also a bit chinny. I feel like he came out, he was a big prospect. He was basically like the younger version of Cody Garbrandt, same gym and everything. But they just started throwing him in there with killers really early. And, I mean, his first or second UFC fight was against Max Holloway. And so I feel like he has been cracked a couple of times. I feel like his chin is gone. He's definitely faster. He has power himself. Sometimes I don't really like his decision making, but hey, he's a professional fighter, not me. I can see Andre Fili if he fights like what he's capable of, I can definitely see him winning this fight. This should be very entertaining. Cub Swanson doesn't really get finished unless it's to the body. But that was
Jose Aldo.
yeah. But that's Aldo. Giga, I feel like he finished everybody to the body with that kick if he landed. I don't know. This is gonna be another fun fight, like action packed, man. I can't wait for none of this. I feel like Cub also, this may be the last time we see him. So that'll be the third fighter so far that we saw that I feel like could possibly retire regardless of the results. I feel like everybody want to retire on a win, but I feel like if you win, it makes it hard to retire because then you feel like I still got it. I can compete with these guys. Swanson definitely has the power to touch the chin. If Andre Fili stays defensively sound and just doesn't try to fight above, like if he stays within himself and uses his speed and varies his attacks, I can see him winning this fight by decision. But Cub could definitely put his lights out. This is another one that is hard for me to pick because I can see both guys winning. It's pretty much a coin flip. The odds reflect that. I'm gonna go Andre Fili.
Yeah. This is a tough fight because I feel like they kind of in the same similar position. Like they're both vets and they're both good enough to not get just completely mauled by the lower echelon of the division, but they're not good enough to be the upper echelon of the division, and they'll get finished. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it'll be interesting too. Everybody in the chat, chime in. Let us see what y'all thinking on these fights. I want to know who y'all think gonna win some of these fights. Everybody on Twitter and whatnot, we appreciate you. If you can move over to YouTube, that would be great. But either way, you're supporting the channel, so appreciate it.
Yeah. Cub Swanson, he coming off. He actually won his last fight against Hakeem Dawodu. And then before that, he got finished.
That was a suspect decision, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was happy with the result, but
yeah, I was just gonna say, but I wasn't confident that he won that fight. And then before that, he got finished by Jonathan Martinez, which isn't nothing to sneeze at. But so basically,
a leg kicker. You feel me? Jonathan Martinez finished people with legs. Well, with leg kicks. So
if I was to analyze his last two fights, he basically lost in my eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Andre Fili, Dan Ige is just a beast. I can't really fault him for getting put out by Ige. I hate to agree with you. I want to pick Cub Swanson just to disagree with you, but I got to pick Andre Fili in this one just because I feel like he got a little bit more in the gas tank,
I think it's because I mentioned tallying up them points.
No, trust me.
I can't let him get a big lead.
Hey, trust me. And boy, you don't even know that you won it in the first place. Number two, I got an ace up my sleeve anyway. So
hey, nobody knows. Nobody knows because you slacking, and the ace up your sleeve is probably the pencil. You finna pencil one.
Nah. But I'm taking Andre Fili in this fight by decision. Potentially fight of the night. Because they're both, you got two vets coming in there looking to let it all hang, basically.
And speaking of fight of the night, at the press conference, somebody asked Dana how he felt about this card, considering all the BS that he went through trying to put it together and replace fights. He said he was excited about it. He said everybody knows that the co-main or the main probably going to be the fight of the night. We just don't know which one. And they say, so how about you give 2 fight bonuses, 2 fight of the night bonuses? And he was like, all right, fuck it. Let's do 2 fight of the night bonuses. So there will be 2 fight of the night bonuses.
Yeah, Uncle Dana, let's go.
Next up, another one that I am really excited about. We have Body Bags, Joe Pyfer versus Mark Andre Bario, a.k.a. the Power Bar. This is a middleweight bout. They put this on the last prelim before the main card for a reason, because it's something they want you to tune into. This should be an all-out war. All hell gonna break loose. Joe Pyfer suffered a devastating injury on Dana White's Contender Series. Literally snapped his arm in half trying to post when he was getting taken down. Came back and just started destroying people, knocking people out. Has really good offensive wrestling that he used against Abdul Razak Al Hassan. And he has devastating power in his hands. I was there live when I saw him knock out GM3 in devastating fashion. He got one hitter quitters. It's not like an accumulation. It's just he'll put you down with one shot. On the other hand, we got Mark Andre Barrio, Canadian. He is as tough as they come. He's not great in one area, but he's extremely good in all areas. Really good takedown defense. has powerful hands. He has a chin from hell. And it's like he usually just puts the pressure and wears you out. Usually has more in his gas tank than his opponent. I remember I'm pretty sure Bones has a newfound respect for him since the Julian Marquez fight because you were so adamant that Julian was going to knock him out. And I was trying to tell you, look, Julian is going to catch him with knockout shots, but he's going to still be there. And when Julian empties the tank to try to finish and he's still there, Bario is going to crumble him. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he two guys that I've never seen get finished. Joe Pyfer did disappoint in his last performance versus Jack Hermanson. He pretty much got outstruck by the wrestler. He was doing great. What happened with what? Let me know what you're talking about, Dean. He was what? Never mind. I ain't gonna go there, but
hey,
yeah, you know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But so Joe Pyfer pretty much was very impressive in the first round and a half of that fight. And Jack Hermanson hung around and ended up turning the ties, and he outstruck Joe Pyfer. And it was really disappointing. Joe Pyfer, Dana White is really big on him. And that's what makes this fight interesting, and it's crazy. You can see how he lost a little bit of hype because his last fight was a main event on a fight night, and now he's finishing off the prelims on a pay-per-view card. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to being on the main card. So if Jack Hermanson laid out the blueprint to beat Joe Pyfer, then that style of matchup plays perfectly into Marc-Andre Barriault's hands. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I would like to put money on this fight, but it's kind of hard to bet on Joe Pyfer considering his last performance. I got to see him have a bounce back. And as far as Andre Barriault, it's kind of hard to bet against Joe Pyfer as well. I'm going to pick Joe Pyfer to win this fight, even though everything I said made it sound like I wasn't. I just feel like he's going to have a bounce back performance.
Basically everything you said is why I'm picking Marc-Andre Barriault because Joe Pyfer, let's not get it twisted. He was supposed to win this last fight. You feel me? And the UFC thought he was going to win that last fight too. Jack Hermanson has been suspect when it comes to his chin, and they expected Joe Pyfer to put him out in the main event. Making it. You said when?
Yeah.
Jared Cannonier. He's been dropped too. You feel me? Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying. But
okay. I feel like that could be like I don't remember him getting dropped, but I'm not gonna dispute that because I forgot about the Cannonier fight.
That was in his hometown in Copenhagen on the UFC fight night, and Cannonier caught him with an uppercut against Paige.
You probably know the date too.
No, I don't remember the date, but he folded though, and Cannonier just punched him out. You feel me?
But can you say you don't have a chin because you got knocked out by Cannonier?
No, but listen, Jack Hermanson isn't.
What you can say is that Marvin Vettori has a chin made of granite. That's what you can say.
Marvin Vettori, yeah, definitely. he do. And you look at like Charlotte Strickland was piecing them up pretty good, even though that's not saying much because it's Charlotte Strickland. But
man, I'm not gonna disagree.
And then also Ron Delise. Remember that knockout too? Remember Delise when he got put out on the ground?
Yeah, but he had him in a calf slicer while he was pounding them too. So I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. Like I said, I'm not disputing you. I just wanted receipts, and you give them to me.
So Joe Pyfer, he was supposed to put out Jack Hermanson in that fight, but I don't understand how. I still can't figure it out. But somehow Jack Hermanson outstruck him and didn't even go to the ground and still beat him on the feet. I feel like it was because Joe Pyfer, he actually was doing good in the first round. I think he won the first round, and he was doing a lot of heavy. Yeah, he was throwing a lot of heavy shots, and the thing is, those heavy shots didn't put out his opponent, and he's used to his hands putting everybody out. You feel me?
Right.
So once he didn't put out his opponent, it was like, oh shit! Now what I do is round 3 now, and I still got 2 more rounds to go. Granted, this isn't a 5-round fight. You know what I'm saying? It's only 3 rounds, but Mark Andre got that MAB. He got that endurance. You know what I'm saying? And he got that cardio. So he's not finna get, yeah, he's not finna get tired from these overhands and these uppercuts and stuff. He's not finna get tired from Joe Piper's pressure. So I feel like Bario is definitely going to take him into deep waters, and he's going to win by decision because Joe Piper going to gas out. Be like Joe Piper.
Hey, so I just got it. I know how this fight going to play out.
Wow.
All right, so Joe Piper wasn't trying to take Jack Hermanson down. I guess he respected his ground game too much. Joe Piper going to use his wrestling like he did against Abdul Razak Al Hassan, and that's how he's going to pull this one off. But I will say this. That's what happens. Sometimes I feel like the UFC tries to push these guys too fast. And Jackson was a big step up in competition. They put him against a vet, and that was only like, his fourth UFC fight?
Yeah.
And so I feel like he kind of got fraud checked. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But so, yeah, we'll see what happens with this fight. I'm really interested to see it. Bario is definitely a live dog. Looking at those odds, Trevor, that might be something you want to look at. Jay said he definitely did.
What's up, Vic?
What's up, Vic? Wah.
All right, let's move on to the main card.
All right, UFC 303 International Fight Week. Stepping up to the main card. I don't know why it looks like that, but
yeah, me either. A little weird.
But starting it off, we have in the welterweight division, Ian Machado Gary, who is 14-0, undefeated, versus Michael Venom Paige, who came over from Bellator. Last fight was against Kevin Holland. He pretty much ran through Kevin Holland, didn't get the finish. I love this fight too, Vic. Ian Machado Gary is definitely. I feel like this is interesting because they're kind of like they have the same style. Michael Venom Page is just more flashy. Ian Gary definitely is an elite striker. I love the way he sets up all of his strikes with feints. Like he'll throw a feint and then he'll get the 1-2 before the jab and the cross come. A feint is coming, but once he feint and he get off, he's not letting off just one. He usually stringing them up in at least three strike combinations. It'll usually be 2 punches and a kick. You don't know if the kick coming low to the calf. You don't know if it's coming to the body or to the head. He's very tall for the weight class, but so is Michael Venom Page. I agree with you, Vic. Honestly, it can go both ways. I agree with that 100%, and that's what makes it so interesting because you got MVP, who is an elite striker. He's long. He uses his range. They both like to sit back, and MVP is more of a counter striker though, and he uses feints too. But the way he uses his feints is more in like an Anderson Silva type of way. He's a showman, so he'll dance around and he'll do something crazy just to like freeze you up, and then he'll get off. So I feel like whoever does something to interrupt the other guy's rhythm first is the one who will probably win this fight. I do give MVP a slight edge on the speed, and also give him an edge as far as his variety of weapons. I feel like he has everything Machado has, except for he has a little more as well, because he'll throw the spinning elbows, he'll throw the spinning kicks, he'll do the switch flying jump kick, he'll throw the flying knees. Ian Machado Gary is capable of all that, but we haven't seen it. Ian Machado Gary is the younger fighter, though, and so I'm looking to see how much MVP got left in the tank. This fight can be very exciting from a technical standpoint. I don't think it's going to be no brawl at all. MVP come at you with crazy angles. That's 100% right. Vic definitely know what he's talking about. He may have watched a couple of MVP fights or two. but MVP is devastating, man. He literally fractured Cyborg's skull. He literally tore a guy's knee up with just one kick. He's definitely devastating. This fight is going to be really technical and just like exciting from a X's and O's standpoint of like how they fill each other out and how they approach the game plan, or it can be a boring fight where Ian Gary hold that's what you say.
Yeah.
Ian Gary could hold MVP up against the cage and just try to smother him. We never really seen Ian Gary use his wrestling, but when he did fight Neil Magny, he held him up against the cage for a lot of time, which is usually what Neil Magny does to people. And when they were at distance, he just chewed up his leg. So that's another thing I'm looking for him to incorporate in this too, because with a kickboxer like MVP, if you take that calf out, then that's also how Douglas Lima knocked him out.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna lean Ian Gary on this. I just convinced myself that Ian Gary got the advantage.
This fight is very interesting. I wouldn't bet on this for nothing. I wouldn't touch this fight. Just because there's so many different ways it can go. Like either Ian Gary can do what my brother said, use his clinch game, and because he's more well-rounded, I would say. So he can use his clinch game and keep him up against the cage, and he can make this a very boring fight. You know what I'm saying? Whereas MVP, he got more of a splash, I always say, with his striking.
Hey, you know that's Tomlinism, right?
Huh?
You know that's Tomlinism, right?
What?
Splash. But go ahead, though.
But overall, I feel like MVP, he's gonna be able to get more significant strikes off and do a little bit more damage than Ian Gary. And plus, just to go against you, I'm gonna go with MVP by decision. I don't see him putting Ian Gary out. I'm actually surprised Ian Gary took this fight because MVP is ranked lower than him, and I know how Ian Gary is about his rankings, and he got a strict plan that he want to follow and stuff.
Yeah, that's why he said, to your point, he said he's not excited about this fight. He don't want this fight.
He didn't want this fight.
But I hate that because, like, all right, when you're up and comer and you're trying to rise through the rankings, you're always looking at, okay, who's ahead of me next that I can take their number. But you don't look at it like whoever's ahead of you next, they're fighting down when they fight you. You feel me? So don't feel like everybody got to fight down to fight you, but you can't fight down to fight somebody else. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But in his defense, though, you know what he wanted? He wanted Colby Covington main event, and Colby Covington, I don't know if it's the UFC or Colby, but for some reason, Colby never responded to him, and the UFC just ignored him, and they never made that fight. You feel me? And he said he threw another name out there, too. And, Shavkat, you know what I'm saying? They didn't give him that. You feel me? So, you know, I mean, he didn't really have much of a choice. You feel me?
Like that sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take MVP by decision. I don't feel like this is gonna be one of the more more uneventful fights on the card. I feel like because they're both so quirky with their striking, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for Ian Gary to win, I feel like he kind of got to make it a boring fight.
But the thing with the danger comes in closing the distance against MVP.
Yeah,
I can see MVP knocking him out.
Oof, that'd be crazy as hell.
Hey, like remember he got hurt. We done seen him rocked a couple of times. He just managed to recover
against the Asian guy. Sorry, I don't remember your name, but yeah.
Next up, another fight that I'm excited for. You know, I might maybe the only one.
Hey, Vic say MVP knockout round 2. I hope you're right, Vic.
Hey, let's see it. I bet you won't come watch it with me. All right, so we got Shitara Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Shea Song. I'm actually a big fan of both. I'm an even bigger fan of Mayra Bueno Silva. I do see her as a future champion. Her last fight, she lost the uneventful decision to Raquel Pennington. That was for the UFC Women's Strawweight Championship. Vic says if he can bang with Perry like he did, he don't see Gary. But you got to remember that was boxing. That was boxing. So, I mean, there was no grappling involved. You get what I'm saying? So, but I see what you're saying. Like that's why I don't see Gary knocking him out because what MVP showed us in that Mike Perry fight is that he does have a dog in him. Never seen him take that much punishment before, and he stuck around for it. You feel me? So I respect that to the fullest. But in this fight, Mayra Bueno Silva, submission artist. Yeah, that was bare knuckle too, so that was impressive. Meshi Sasson, she's on a little 2-fight win streak. I feel like she is the more well-rounded fighter. Mayra Bueno Silva will pressure her. She will come for it. She does have power in her hands. If this fight hits the ground, it's over. I'm curious to see if Mayra Bueno Silva filled any holes in her game. One thing I did notice about her is that she can be held up against the fence, like we were just talking about in the previous fight. And I feel like that's why Holly Holm tried to do it, but she got submitted for it. Raquel Pennington pretty much did do it, and she walked away with a belt for it. Meshi Sasson, I'm wondering if that's what she's going to try to do, because if she does that, then that'll be the obvious hole in Mayra Bueno Silva's game. And until she tightens that up, if that's the case, then she's going to fall in the rankings. But she does have wicked submissions. She does have power in her hands. She does press forward. Meshi Sasson, I feel like she's more experienced. She's the more well-rounded fighter. I feel like her striking is more technical. She's pretty tough, and she's gritty. And bro, don't she look like Christina?
Yeah, she do.
But I feel like this fight has title contender implications. Whoever wins this fight will probably. I feel like it's a logjam in this division. Where the hell is Raquel Pennington, man?
You pin that belt, Raquel.
Yeah, I feel like. So who do you think is next? Do you think it's Juliana or do you think it's Kayla Harrison?
Kayla Harrison, probably. I don't know. Either one is fine with me, though. I won't have an issue with either one.
All right, so I feel like whoever is next for the belt against Raquel Pennington, I feel like it should be.
It should be Kayla Harrison, to be honest, because
I feel like it should be Juliana Pena, because she was supposed to be in the title fight originally, but she got injured. So I feel like Kayla Harrison should fight the winner of this fight, and the winner of this fight versus Kayla Harrison, whoever wins that fight should go against the winner of Raquel Pennington versus. Either way, whoever Raquel Pennington defend against, I feel like the winner of that fight should go against the winner of this fight versus the person that doesn't get the title shot.
That works too. That makes sense. So you got in this one, bro?
I got Mayra Bueno Silva by submission.
Yeah, I can't. Mean she is big as fuck. I can't disagree with you in this one. In my opinion, Bueno Silva is going to start just on right first round submission. She's going to put her head on the mean, her leg, her arm, whatever. She's going to take a body part home back to Brazil with her though. First round submission, just on. She doesn't do the best against elite competition. Mayra Bueno Silva, she finna come out with a fire up under her because the last performance was very disappointing. I feel like she lost the fight in just introduction by Bruce Buffer. She got too damn emotional and used up all her energy.
Adrenaline dump is real.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, listen, you can't tell me that Raquel Pennington is a better fighter than Mayra Bueno Silva. I just won't believe it. You feel me? I just feel like because the fight game is a lot of mental and spiritual, that's where she lost the fight, She going to punish Chisom and take her head in round one. By guillotine, maybe.
The missus just surprised me with a cup of something good.
Hey, I'm going to have to come get some of that. Bueno Silva, I think, got the ass, says Vic. I agree. She's going to take a body part home.
So we all on the same page on this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't disagree with you on this one. I'm pretty sure we're going to pick the same for this one, too, bro.
All right, next up, we got Lionheart, Anthony Smith. We told you guys about originally this fight was Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill, former UFC light heavyweight champ. Khalil Roundtree popped PEDs, so then they replaced him with Carlos Ulberg versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill pulled out, so they replaced him with Anthony Smith. So it was Anthony Smith versus Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg pulled out at the last second. Never heard what the injury was. Apparently, he just didn't want to fight Anthony Smith. So now we got Smith versus Roman Dolidze, who has fought at light heavyweight before, but is a middleweight. Apparently, nobody could get. No other light heavyweight would take this fight against Anthony Smith. So Smith won it. Smith washed up. Bone stole his soul. Nah,
He's not talking about me. He's talking about John Jones, yo.
I'm actually picking Anthony Smith in this fight. At first, I felt like against Carlos Ulberg, he had a clear path to victory with the takedown and submission. But against Roman Dolidze, I feel like his clear path to victory is definitely striking. Anthony Smith has 21 of his 23 wins have come by knockout or finish, I should say. Not knockout, but finish. He is a finisher. He has over 50 fights. He definitely the more experienced guy. I feel like Roman Dolidze, he has power in his hands, nasty ground game, but I feel like he gasses out. And I feel like Anthony Smith is the more technical striker. I feel like Anthony Smith can stay safe and pull off a W, probably by decision.
Yeah, this one for me is pretty easy to pick. I feel like Anthony Smith is just going to run over Dolidze. Dolidze, he gasses out like you said, and I just feel like it comes down to how I just said, fighting your spiritual and mental. I would take Anthony Smith's spiritual and mental over Roman Dolidze's any day of the week. They call him Lionheart for a reason. I feel like he's having a career resurgence with that last fight against Victor Petrino. So I got Anthony Smith winning this fight, probably by finish too, like third round submission or TKO or something like that.
And Dolidze is on a skid too. I think he lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
He decided to grow his hair out.
Yeah.
Paige, it's crazy. So I guess Jay picking MVP to win that fight. Next up, and what I think is going to be fight of the night, we have a lightweight bout put together on 2 weeks' notice between T-City, Brian Ortega, and Diego Lopez. I'm a real big fan of Diego Lopez. He burst onto the scene with a really impressive performance. Took on very short notice against number 10 ranked lightweight in the world and Movsar Evloev. Came close to winning that fight a couple of times by submission, but he eventually lost a close decision. And ever since then, I had my eyes out on this guy. Vic say he loves this fight. I do too. Since then, Diego Lopez has went on a streak, finishing 3 opponents in the first round. Last one was Sadiq Youssef, who everybody thought was going to knock him out. He knocked him out in the clinch. He has submissions, and he has speed. He has power in the hands. Brian Ortega, on the other hand, is impossible to finish, it seems like. He was in the process of moving up to it is a lightweight bout. See, he missed weight. It was supposed to be a featherweight bout. He was.
Remember, we was talking about that earlier, bro.
Yeah, he was in the process of moving up to lightweight. He was supposed to be fighting this September at 155, so he was putting weight on. And then 2 week notice, he had to try to cut weight. I didn't think it was going to happen, and obviously it didn't happen. I think me and Vic was talking about this earlier too. So I guess they put the fight at lightweight. I just realized that it was supposed to be at featherweight. Lopez is an animal like we talked about earlier. He beat Lopez. He's going to be a big deal. I think he deserves a title shot. I mean, slow your roll because he still got Armin Sarukian who got the suspension. But, I mean, it would be cool to see him versus I was going to call him Khabib against Makhachev just for the ground game. But I think Makhachev got an edge on the striking. But in this fight, I feel like it's going to be an all-out war. Both guys are there for it. Diego Lopez, this is definitely the biggest name that he's had to fight. If he wins this fight, then it's only up from here. That's the one thing about the UFC. When you're new and they start bringing you up, if you're not ready, then, for example, Carlos Ulberg took that fight against Jamal Hill, stepping in, right? That was kind of early for him to be fighting the Jamal Hill. If he's not title ready and he beats Jamal Hill, there is no going back. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's kind of like the risk. Like, yeah, you could pay off right now, but in the long run, it could damage your career. Same thing with Diego Lopez. T-City is a big deal. He's only lost to 3 people in the UFC. One of them was kind of fluky, but you got to give credit where credit is due to Yair Rodriguez. But he came back and avenged that loss. Other than that, he lost to Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, 2 staples in the featherweight division. Diego Lopez wins this fight. It's only up from here. He definitely going to jump to the top 10 at least. Brian Ortega, he loses this fight. I feel like he still got a lot ahead of him for the simple fact that he's changing weight classes. And he won't get cut for the simple fact that he's doing the UFC a favor. This is going to be a hell of a fight, but I'm picking Diego Lopez, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to rock him and sub him. Oof. I wish this fight was 5 rounds.
It's a real good friend of mine at the job who's a jiu-jitsu master, and I was talking or whatever, and I was thinking, maybe Brian Ortega has the better jiu-jitsu when it comes to the ground, but he was like, nah, trust me, like Diego Lopez got better jiu-jitsu, which kind of surprised me, but I'm not,
I would love to see them in just a jiu-jitsu match, to be honest.
Yeah, but I feel like you hit all the good points basically. Ortega was already, expected to move up and fight another fight in September, and he just did this because the UFC put a couple extra million or 1,000, however many in his pocket, and you got a co-main event fight, whatever, UFC International Fight Week, so it's a big deal. But I just feel like Diego Lopez is just he's on that. In certain times, certain fighters just get on this hot streak where they just can't lose, in my opinion. We last seen that with Jorge Masvidal during his little Ben Askren and Nate Diaz run. What's up?
That's like 2019 to 2023 Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, see, he just he couldn't lose, bro, no matter what. And I feel like Diego Lopez
surprised me before.
Yeah, I feel like Diego Lopez, he got this fight. I don't think he's going to finish Ortega, but I definitely see him winning by decision, and he's going to be a future champion, I feel like.
Absolutely.
The upside is just ridiculous with him. And he's also a coach, too, like a real good coach. So he understands the fundamentals in the game. And if he rocks Ortega or hurts him, he won't get overzealous and get too excited. I feel like he'll be patient. So,
and not only is he a coach, but he's a coach who coaches a championship fighter in Alexa Grasso. And also they got Irene Aldana to the title, too. You get what I'm saying? So they know what it takes to train like a champion and to win championship fights.
Yeah.
And that stuff is contagious in the gym, I feel like. Once you get a champion in your gym, everybody knows that what they're doing there obviously works. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now, here we are for the main event of the evening for the undisputed light heavyweight title. We have Poatan, Alex Pereira versus Yuri Procházka. This is a rematch from November of last year. It was a very good fight. Alex Pereira ended up winning by knockout. Some say it was controversial, but I feel like it was done. Yuri kind of went for the takedown. He shot in with his head right on the center line, ate a nasty left hook. Connor. Yeah. That Connor fight, don't get me wrong, everybody wants Connor to come back. He's amazing for the sport. I was looking forward to the Connor McGregor fight. Connor Mania is definitely real. That is a superstar. Connor McGregor puts asses in seats, whether it's just a press conference or a fight or a movie or whatever the case may be. It was definitely a little early. This is in reference to the finish against Poatan and Pereira and Procházka last time. It was definitely a little early. This fight's going to go the exact opposite of the first fight. In my opinion, perhaps he is going to knock him out in a second. I don't know. I've been inclined to believe that Procházka may get the knockout this time. The thing is, what makes it hard for me to pick Procházka is he's not that defensively responsible. He eats shot. He has a wide stance, therefore the leg kick is there. And Pereira has the nastiest leg kicks, and he has ungodly power. I mean, he knocks people dead. Dean says Procházka in the second. I don't know. Both of these guys combined have like a million knockouts. Alex Pereira, in just 3 years in the UFC, has defeated Israel Adesanya, defeated Sean Strickland, nothing but former champions on his resume, defeated
Jan Blachowicz.
I mean, and he wins most of these fights by knockouts. He didn't knock out Jan, but who does? He also knocked out Yuri.
Jared Cannonier.
Jared Cannon.
He knocked out Jan.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I remember that. When? What day? What fight? What card?
Yeah.
But no, so yeah. I want to pick Yuri. He did have success in the first fight. People just remember the knockout, but it was back and forth. I don't know what's going to be better, the stare down or the fight.
Oh my goodness, bro! That stare down last time had me jumping out of my seat. I was going so nice, bro.
Hey,
oh my goodness!
Hey, that stare down last time, it just it gave you goosebumps, man. Like,
bro, literally, I had goosebumps watching
it. Me too. Oh man, I'm so excited for this fight, man. But I just can't pick against Pereira right now for the simple fact that he's on that streak right now, and I feel like Procházka does get hit too much, even against Rakic. Rakic was piecing him up. He just couldn't finish him, and he walked through hellfire and brimstone to deliver his power, and he does have devastating knockout power, which is why he could knock out Alex Pereira. But I feel like with his stance being so wide and being susceptible to the leg kicks, and then him being so hittable, I just don't see. I don't know, man. It's just a matter of who's gonna knock who out first, and I feel like Pereira may be the one to do it to him. Trevor said Pereira to win by submission in the fourth is plus 6,000. Rightfully so. Both of these guys are kickboxers. Never seen Pereira take nobody down ever. I seen Yuri try it against Pereira, but that's what got him knocked out. But crazier things have happened. So
remember, Yuri submitted Glover to win the belt.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't take him down. He was in a submission himself.
Yeah.
And managed to, I don't know how he pulled that out, but that was what it was like 10 seconds left in the fight too.
Something like that, yeah.
Hey, Yuri get his ass kicked in every fight. But he just win them. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see him getting his ass kicked by Pereira and still being there. You feel me?
Yeah, because Paul's not having to kick ass even to just knock you the hell out, basically. You know, Pereira has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think. Yeah, I believe he do, but it ain't going to the ground though. This fight is made.
He got that black belt from Glover Teixeira, by the way.
This fight is made for Poatan to win because Yuri is so damn wild, man. And it's like he's one of those fighters that I love watching him fight, but at the same time, it makes me very nervous because you just don't know what's going on. Even that Rockets fight. He don't check leg kicks, which is not good because Poatan is the king of leg kicks. And like I said, he's very wild, so it leaves him open to that left hook from hell. But with all that being said, I'm going to go with my boy Yuri just to go against you. And plus, I feel like Poatan, I don't forget, we have seen him get knocked out before. You was there, bro. You seen it live. You feel me?
We saw him get knocked out. Yeah, Dean said it, reckless. We saw him get knocked out by Izzy at 185. I feel like, I don't know how the hell he made 185. I feel how the weight cut affects the ability to take damage.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Yuri. I mean, he was fighting at 185, and Yuri is no small dude. But I'm curious to see how these broken toes going to affect his game. Like, is that going to affect his leg kicks? Is he just going to follow through it and kick?
I feel like he thinks that because I've been in there with this guy already, I already know what to expect, and I can handle him, whatever. But I feel like he's still, underestimating Yuri a little bit. But to your point about the stare down, whoever gets in the octagon first is going to stare at their opponent from the time they hit the curtain. And basically, that's it. They're just going to keep staring at him, man. They're not going to take their eyes off of him, man.
They're not going to stare at him. They're going to stare through him.
Yeah, that interest of Poison, where he got that plotting interest, and he do that thing, man. Oh my goodness! Like these are two of the best interests in the UFC, two of the most spiritual fighters in the UFC. I just can't wait for this fight, man. I'm real excited for it. But I got Yuri winning this fight.
Can't even argue with that. And the odds got it kind of even too. This should be massive. His left hook can make up for a lot of things. Absolutely, Dean. Absolutely. And to that point, man, when we play UFC, pick somebody else, goddammit. I'm tired of fighting Alex Pereira all the time, man. Like, come on, Dean. Do better.
Hey, I'm gonna be on there tonight, Dean.
So yeah, anything else you want to add, man? What's fight of the night? What's up of the night?
Fight of the night is gonna be Andre Fili Cub Swanson, or the co-main event between Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega.
Two of them now. Remember that.
All right, hold on. Let me see. I got those to be in a fight of the night. Submission of the night could be Jillian Hall against Michelle Waterson. Oh no, Marino Bueno Silva finna get submission of the night. And they don't do knockout of the night no more. But
that'll be the main event.
Yeah.
Well,
overall, I think it's gonna be a good card. I think it's gonna deliver, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Hey, can we do 10:30 Sunday?
That's cool with me.
All right. So yeah, I gotta go pick up I would say my little monster, but he ain't little no more. He bigger than me, actually. I got a 6'8", 15-year-old, y'all.
Yeah, he huge.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. We're gonna catch y'all Sunday. We working on some things behind the scenes to try to bring y'all more content. We just gotta figure something out and stick to it. You get what I'm saying? But in the meantime, y'all tune into these fights. International Fight Week, amazing card they got for UFC 303. You don't want to miss it. If you've never seen a UFC fight before, you might want to tune in to this one. I'm never calling Zay out on UFC ever again because it just never ends well. Yeah, hey, I feel the same way, man. Like whoever make the call out be the one to get done in. Hey, keep that in mind, bro. Because I mean, you've been calling out all day.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for us, man. Real interested to see how these fights play out, and I'm really interested to see where we stand with our picks as far as who got more right than the other. Anything else you want to add, bro?
No, I'm just anxious to get these fights, man. I'm excited to see Yuri and Poatan. One of those fights where you know somebody finna go out.
Yeah, I'm probably finna go watch these weigh-ins real quick, and then I will see you on the PS Network, sir.
All right, later, y'all.
All right,
have a good night.
Take it easy. Like, subscribe. Thanks for the support. See y'all Sunday, 10:30.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.
Straight Talk MMA, hosted by Zay Bonez. The MMA